Hello, subscribers. So you asked me to tell you about those early days, how to get started. I thank you for giving me the chance to do this because I've never really recorded it. So this is an opportunity. I got some notes. Okay, so I'm 22 years old, getting out of college, don't want a desk job. So I saw on TV, a lot of us did actually, these very early 16mm documentaries. There was Bob Drew. There was a 1962 documentary on television about John Kennedy, the president. And anyway, these things were just so exciting. You could pick up a camera, rent it if you were in New York City, and that's a real important thing. I just want you to know about New York at that time. There's the 60s generation just getting started, and there are filmmakers everywhere. And handheld with a camera, 49 pounds, with the rig, the battery, and the separate recorder, 26-pound Nagra, and you could actually walk down the street and talk to somebody. It was fantastic. So my very first film is this film shot about 25 miles from where my parents lived, where I grew up, in Riverhead, Long Island, on these duck farms, where a friend of mine told me the people who actually take care of the ducks live with the ducks on the duck houses. Disgusting. This was outrageous, the way these migrant workers were being treated. So I go out there with a Bolex wind-up camera and a Nagra with a mic, and I interview these people. And then I figure out, oh, I could put the pictures together to match the words. Words first, audio first. That's still my practice. So I make my first film. It's called Got to Move, 13 minutes. I'm going to leave a link on how to see it. It's a little hard to understand because the accents are rough, but here's what happens. I made it for $400. I got some guy to back me, and he says, let's send it to Washington because the White House should see this. Lyndon Johnson, the president, 1964. 6 weeks later, we get a letter back from the White House that says, we saw your film. Very important. It's going to be shown to Congress. And within a year, this is a true story, within a year, legislation is passed to start to protect the migrant workers. So I really like this movie thing. And I now work for a company doing the crappiest job, which was wind up film. You wound up the film, and you looked at the little synchronizer and the scope, and you picked out the shots. So I make this movie, and I'm a movie maker. And now I should go to the new network, National Educational Television. Boring, but they ran documentaries, and they used independence. So I show them my film, and I have an idea, and I'm about to end this episode of my early life, and I'm going to show you the clip of the first professional film I made, $9,000 total production cost, paid for by NET, all because in Time magazine, I read about this guy in Asheville, North Carolina, 82 years old, who ran the first Bluegrass Mountain Music Festival starting in 1929. So I write him some letters. He says, yes, come on down, Mr. Hoffman. I'm 22 years old. And he says, if you come down, I'm going to take you and show you my best musicians. Fantastic. So NET gives me the money. I'm on a plane, really, for the second time in my life. And I now have a 16mm camera that goes over my shoulder, 49 pounds, with these huge magazines you got to load every 10 minutes. And we're there 6 weeks, and we make this movie, which is really a classic you got to see. I'm so proud of it because I realized that the music I loved from being a kid on Long Island, listening to late night, a Grand Ole Opry radio on Saturday night, saying, who the hell are these people? With banjos and guitars. Fantastic, I still love it. I was picking up fantastic people, and I realized that the language and the way they spoke to each other. Mr. Hoffman, would you like a glass of water? I mean, I'm in 1964 now, and nobody talks like that where I come from. So I really like these people. I love these people. And I'm getting the language, and I'm hearing it, and I'm recording it rather than just the song. And that's why Bluegrass Roots is so amazing, that the Library of Congress has taken the film, and on my death, the American people basically get this film because it's such an amazing hour of film. So it's more than probably you want to know about my early life, but I'm going to go on with the chronology in future videos. And I really thank you again for your kindnesses.